Really breathe. Anyway, I am dedicating this to Dildo Dick Durbin, and I really hope Donald Trump did say it. Even if he's got to cover his, you know what, try to stay out of trouble with the mainstream media, fake news, liberal news, and the progressive satanic left, and probably some of the same on the right. Maybe a lot of the same on the right. I really hope he said it, because he's calling it like it is, and that's why we hired him to be president. I think it's awesome. I really don't care what those other countries think of us. Really probably won't ever care what their opinions of us are. And there's more than just the two that were mentioned. I mean, they're all over the world. They're not all just in nations that are primarily black. There's lots of places that have lots of different people in them. Even Haiti has, white people in it, which is hardly ever mentioned. And that doesn't make the Haitian people bad, but it does make it a truthful statement when you call them shithole countries. They are. And that's what they want to turn the United States into. That's their goal, because they get slave populations out of that. They get, subjugation. They get desperation. That's what they're steadily trying to turn this country into. And you can call it paranoia, but I'm sitting back watching it. I see it for what it is. I remember a time when, it was probably, my memories begin probably right about the time it was really starting to creep in. But I mean, you could also see a lot of daylight around a lot of that crap that came in. You could still see the United States of America. You could still see the promise and the hopes and the dreams still available. And they've been choked out because of this influx of nonsense from these shithole countries and shithole nations and shithole places. Now, being honest, I have tried to practice this just a couple of times. Really can't get the vibe on it. Got to work on it, but I'm going to give it a shot. I think it's song worthy, and I think that it speaks volumes, man, about where we're at. It speaks volumes about all you haters that hate Trump supporters. You think we're all? I don't even think of people the way that you think of us. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, at least I don't believe I do. I hope I haven't. It's very condescending and arrogant. You just treat us like we're. I don't even want to say. I mean, because that would be an insult to disabled people. Shouldn't even be brought. I mean, but you treat us like we are like brain dead or something. It's amazing. I mean, I don't know where you come from with it. I really don't know where you come from. From with all the arrogance and the pomposity, if that's even a word. You're just pompous, man. You blow me away. I'm taken aback, if you will. I'm just amazed. I know Jerry would just be like, "Whoa, dude! I mean, you people are like borderline just evil." I don't think he'd be able to hold a conversation with any of you. I think he would have trouble. I don't know Jerry personally, but I mean, judging by some of the interviews I've seen, and just generally watching him in videos with the band and stuff, I don't think he would. I think he would just walk away. He probably wouldn't say anything mean unless you pushed him, but he'd probably just walk away from you and just be like, "Whoa, these people are rude." So basically, what I'm saying to all you deadheads out there, specifically, who are like down on Trump supporters, whether they're a deadhead or not, or fish head or just whatever. I mean, put whatever label you want on it. You just need to watch your mouths, because at some point you're going to push people to the point of no return where they're going to react. And if a reaction is what you're looking to get, you will get it eventually. And I don't think there's going to be anyone there to save you. Now, hopefully nothing bad will happen to you. I mean, I don't wish ill upon you at all. But I mean, I'm just saying, man, you guys are wilded out. Donald Trump is the president, and everything you're doing is basically guaranteeing that he's going to be elected again. I mean, I hate to tell you that. I don't hate to tell you that. I'm glad to tell you that, because it's the truth. if he doesn't get elected again, then I guess, hey, you win, but you're still not going to be right. You're just not right. But treating everybody, the Trump supporters, like they're second-class citizens, being ignorant and just rude, is the same reason why all these people are leaving these shithole countries, nations, and places, trying to get here because they're hoping to not deal with that anymore. And they come here, and they got you guys at the border going, yeah, come on in, we want your votes. Yeah, come on in, you can have whatever. But now the rest of us have stood up and said, no more. So now they're faced with us saying no more. So, and honestly, they don't have any respect for you. The people that are coming from other countries don't respect you. They don't care whether you're handing them free stuff. They look at you like you're a target. They look at you like you're stupid. I can tell you because I've had some experience with dealing with people from other countries, immigrant situations, and I can tell you from personal experience that they just look at you from the perspective that you're just a target. They want to get what they can get. They want to get ahead. Now, maybe some of them will be nice after they get whatever they want and actually be decent. But many of them will, first of all, take advantage of you and become criminals and victimize you. Secondly, many of them will just look in your face and laugh in your face and say, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir, take your money and send it back to their countries. And then ultimately their plan is to have enough money built up from here to be able to go in their country and live like kings and queens without ever putting roots down here, without ever putting the money that they make here back into this economy. And many of them have the intent of going back to their country somewhere in their, minds. I know one in particular, for sure, and that person's family that openly state, we can make a lot of money here. We can go back and we can have people in our country work for us. So they want to, maybe some of them want to do good, but I think the intent that I heard is that, the dummies back in my country that didn't come to the United States, they can be basically my slave because I can pay them a few US dollars and they're going to scramble for it and they're going to do whatever I want. So, and that was, as God is my witness in Jesus' name, that was what I was told personally. That was the intent. I was even invited to move to one of these shithole countries, nations, and places and live like a king. And I declined. And I also resisted against the illegal activities of these people wanting to bring illegals into this country. And ultimately, I was called a racist for it because I didn't agree with them breaking immigration law. So, and I can validate that. So these shithole countries, nations, and places, I don't think that Donald Trump should be ashamed of if he said it. I don't think he should be ashamed of it. I think he should have come out and said, yeah, I said it. It's the truth. But if he didn't say it, that's cool. And that just shows that Dildo Dick Durbin and the Dems are just up to their old tricks. So anyway, I'm going to strum this just one more time, see if I can get it right. If not, I'm going to put this up anyway, and you can pick it apart, say whatever you want. I don't really care. But this is my opinion, and it's expressed under my First Amendment right. So, here I go. Shithole countries, shithole nations, shithole places don't give a shit about me. Shithole countries, shithole nations, shithole places won't matter if you please. Shithole countries, shithole nations, shithole places can't run the land care that you share. I wanna say the home of the brave. Shithole country, shithole nations, shithole places don't give a shit about me. Obviously very rough. Probably will never work on it and fine tune it. But hey, man, it's kind of fun. Can't really play guitar, can't really sing well, I admit that. Don't really care if you all like it or not, but I'm going to put it into a song. Because this is really getting out of hand. This whole deal that we have going on here, this country is majorly divided along some lines that are absolutely ridiculous to be divided on. Yeah, a bunch of people came from other countries and settled here. My family on one side has been here, actually on both sides, to be honest. You know, if you really want to get technical. My family's been here since before it was a nation. At least that's what I was told by my mother and my father. So, be that as it may be. But still, that doesn't discount anyone that came afterwards. But at some point, we can put a no vacancy sign up. People aren't entitled to come here. They're taking our kindness for weakness. And that's just a fact. They're taking our kindness for weakness. We got to stop, people. You got to wake up. You got to see the truth. I mean, I got a lot of, I guess, liberal views and things that maybe other people would disagree with. But I also have some conservative views that obviously maybe some people will disagree with. They definitely do. But one thing I've found, and this is fairly true, is that the conservative people who don't agree with some of my liberal views are not nearly as likely to jump down my throat and get in my face about it. You know, unless I try to go push those views up in their face or whatever. I mean, and I don't do that, so I haven't experienced it. I just keep to myself. I mind my own business for the most part. Until this last election. Then I got pretty active because I'm sick of it. Last few years, actually. I've been standing up for myself more often. But on the liberal side, man, if you tell them your conservative views, they are all over you. And nasty and rude and just downright violent. I mean, they'll call the cops on you. You all will call the cops on somebody. You know, you'll call the authorities and cause somebody a problem. You can get somebody killed like that. You know, you can really do harm. When you call the police out, they're working on a protocol. They're working on training. They're working on, you know, a set thing that's pretty much usually without emotion. You know, and you can cause somebody to get killed or hurt badly, certainly arrested, by making false claims and just generally being dicks. And I'm pointing this directly at the liberals, the left. So, again, to reiterate, I've been able to deal with conservatives without a whole lot of criticism. I'm sure they talk about it amongst themselves, you know, have in the past, you know, criticizing myself, people like me. But they generally keep themselves, and they tend to, if you don't bother them, they don't bother you. At least that's my experience. But the liberals, man, you guys will go, man, you guys are just wilding out. I mean, you're just really going bonkers. So, could you please stop? You know, I mean, can you just try to be kind? Just be kind. And stop being so condescending. If someone happens to be of a lower intelligence than you, why point it out? Why sit and think about it and pump your own nads about it? You know, just think about it. Why waste your time? Even if you don't mention it and you think someone's dumb as a box of rocks on a hot day, man, just why dwell on it? Why would you want to dwell on it and even waste your energy thinking about that? Because, I mean, honestly, they could surprise you. While they're maybe weak in some areas that you're strong in, they could be really strong in some areas that you're weak in. It's just something to think about. And I'm guilty of this. I've been guilty of being arrogant in the past. Plenty of times. Yeah, I have been. I admit it. But you know what? I'm admitting it. And I'll probably be arrogant again. I may even be considered arrogant for saying this. But we're all supposed to be citizens together. And we're supposed to look out for our interests together. This is a team, man. This is a family. And letting all these other people from other countries come in here that literally have no respect for us and are only coming in here to take advantage. And they are. And a lot more than the news will even tell you. Because the news can't read people's minds, and say for sure what in the content of their heart, their character. They can't tell for sure who feels what and for what motives they're doing whatever until they demonstrate something outwardly. But I can guarantee you, man, that many of these people just have no interest. They're looking for opportunity, as I said before, to go back to their country and dominate. They want to dominate. That's how they've been raised, that the dominant figure is the one that wins. It's survival of the fittest. And we're supposed to be a civilization here in this nation where survival of the fittest doesn't take place in a primitive sense. I mean, you can say in business, well, hey, you don't work faster and harder than the next guy or gal, then you're going to lose out. That's possible. But you're still not going to shouldn't be worried about dying in the streets because someone came up to you and shot you in the head and took your cheeseburger sub. That does happen, I'm sure, but it's not supposed to happen and shouldn't happen and doesn't really happen as much as it happens in other countries. And I'm sure there's lots of stuff that we never hear about worldwide, which is why many of you have no clue what you're even fighting for when you're fighting against, Donald Trump and his supporters. You don't even know what you're fighting for, and fighting about. You don't have a clue. You only know what the fake news media, mainstream media has pumped into your brains to make you believe that these other places are this, that, or the other. And all they're looking for is to get votes, man. Where's your victory if you get all these people in here that want to do harm or don't care to stop harm from being done to this country, and you get some votes, and then they take over, and you're left being their slave because they will enslave you, because that's the mentality that many of these people have been born into, unfortunately. I'm sure they wouldn't have chosen that if they knew there was a choice, but that's these shithole countries, nations, and places. That's the way that they run their deal. That's why we're so different. That's why they want to take us down, because they want what we have, and they don't want our influence around the world stopping them from being able to dominate. Now, Donald Trump's a billionaire, but so what? Who cares? There's lots of billionaires around the world that live in shithole countries, nations, and places, and they're usually the rulers of those countries. And they haven't improved anything for decades, if not centuries. Donald Trump was a private businessman. Stopped doing what he was doing. Said, I'm just going to go ahead and take a pay cut. And took a pay cut. Sure, the tax breaks might help him and his kids somewhere down the line. Whatever, man. Whatever. But it's not like a paycheck being cut to him. Actually, they cut a paycheck to him, but he donates it every year. Which is, when have you ever known a millionaire or anybody, much less a billionaire, to turn down money that they earned? Because he's earning it. So people, especially you people in deadheads for Trump, the one that's the closed group, you're sabotaging people and friends of mine and whatnot. Stop it. Grow up. The election's done. You'll have a chance in 2020 to say your piece and be nasty and rude, although I don't think it's a wise decision to do that. I don't think you're going to get anybody in there that's going to do a better job than Donald Trump. But that's just my opinion. So take it for what it is. But stop supporting shithole countries, nations, and places, man, and support your own country. We got plenty of people here. When I graduated high school, there was, they said in the textbooks at least, and wherever else, that there's approximately 250 million people in this country at that time. And in like 20 years, now we're up to almost 340 million people. That's a lot of people, a lot more people coming in, man. That's a lot. That's too many. So, anyway, shithole countries, nations, and places.